is how we do it. This is how we do it. La, 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 la.
What's going on, guys? Devin with Gaming in Progress here, and there's a couple things I've been seeing about Dark Souls and Dark Souls 3 I wanted to make a couple videos on, and this is going to be one of them. So basically what it is it's a story of two friends who play Dark Souls together, and it's a very feelsy story, just a heads up. So I'm going to read this to you guys, because I feel like this should be spread around, just so everybody can remember. And it truly shows that even though you may not always get to see the person you're playing a game with, you can become good friends with people you play games with. So I'm going to read this for you. It's called Our Last Summoning. My friend and I were Dark Souls fans. He had never given it a chance a year ago, and I introduced it to him, just like Skyrim long before that, probably due to his girlfriend's annoyance again. Once experienced, it was hard for him to go back, just like Reddit when he thrusted it onto me. The series is my favorite among favorites. We started buying each other merch for fun. We played Drunken Souls often. It was the way we hung out when we were states apart. While I started him out with Dark Souls, we really played Dark Souls 2, impatiently awaiting the day Dark Souls came out on backwards compatibility for Xbox, our shared system of entertainment. We handled Dark Souls 2 like professionals. I taught and led the way, and he listened and mastered. He even adopted my own playstyle. Ultra Black Knight, Greatsword, and Pyromancy for life. When you hit a wall and couldn't break, and couldn't beat Vendrick and NG+, I was persistent and nagged you to keep trying, to keep banging your head against the wall until it broke. Then, finally it did, and you thanked me for pushing you to do it. You finally felt what every Soulsborne player had felt before you, hard-won triumph. I was so proud, and even if I couldn't convince you to 100% the game with me, we were so close. I was happy with our experience and time together nonetheless. Because of his schedule, it took us nearly a year. Then, Dark Souls finally came out in backwards compatibility. Steeling ourselves to beat as much as possible until Dark Souls 3 came out, we dove in. Finally, after a year of build-up, I got to share my favorite game with you. We did as much as possible and planned to see each other when I came up north and beat Dark Souls and start Dark Souls 3 on release a few days after my birthday. Little did I know you were getting sick. Work was harder. You needed to sleep longer. The game just wore you out, like it does everyone, I thought, but that wasn't the case with you. Waiting for my flight to my parents' house, I got a text. Sorry I didn't get back to you to play last night. Had to go to the hospital. I'll fill you in later, he said. Holy shit, dude, are you okay? I said. Yeah, no big deal. Do you need me to visit on my drive up? I said. No thanks, man. My friend would go to the hospital from time to time to get checked on since he'd beat another life-threatening ailment in childhood, so I didn't think much of it. After being released a few days later, he filled me in about the blood clot in his lungs. No big deal, he said. It just makes me tired. Dude, that sounds pretty serious, I said. You grew more and more tired, but you trekked on to Anor Lodo with me, and we swiftly beat ONS like the bosses we were. You asked if I could come down and see you earlier and see you over 2 weekends instead of this coming one. Of course, I said. The monitor I bought for next weekend even came early. Awesome. See you tomorrow. I hadn't seen you since the winter holidays, but you never treated my absence as a thing. Even when we didn't talk for a year or more, when I made one last effort to rebuild the bridge, you told me it was never burnt, and asked where I had been. We talked almost every day since. We set up just like we had when we talked about for months. Finally not having to be in party chat, and we could high five when we won. We played Fibbage 2, another thing I had dragged into or added to your life, and Jackbox Party Pack 2 with your girlfriend. I happily did the chores around your apartment to make things easier for you. You hit a wall and did something irreversible in your game, and you, being you, had to put it down. What I didn't know was you were so tired you just couldn't anymore. So you watched me beat Dark Souls the rest of the day. I kept myself underleveled in case you ever wanted to come back and didn't spoil the ending by being bad win. You kept apologizing for how sick you were, which was ridiculous. You joked about how if Dark Souls 3 stressed you out too much that you'd see you died in your last moments. You even stayed up with me long after your new bedtime to see me off at 1 in the morning for my long drive back up to the ferry. See you in a week. I should have hugged you then. You told me that you would try your best to stay up till 9 p.m. on the 11th so we could co-op on launch day. You did it. The patch took a long time on your end, and you managed to beat Indux Year around midnight to catch up to me. You were exhausted. I could hear it over the mic. I kept playing once you went to bed, disappointed in your condition as you had looked forward to this for so long. I, again, kept myself underleveled so we could play co-op jollily together as we always did. But you didn't get back up. You couldn't get out of bed, and I checked up on you throughout the day. You said you were in pain. I told you to go to the hospital and see your doctor. You said you did, and that they said they couldn't do anything, so they sent you back home. Don't wait for me, just play. You said, no. I said, I'll wait like I always do. You just didn't come back. I texted you, how are you feeling this morning, bud? I got the call from your girlfriend this afternoon. You died in the hospital this morning around the time I went to bed. I'll miss your sign. I'll miss ranting and venting about the stupid summon system with you. I'll miss guiding you through our favorite game. You saved me from myself and my loneliness twice, and you'll never know it. You were the tiny, flickering flame and truly and grossly incandescent in my abyss. You were a warrior in your own life and a brother in arms in mine. I love you and I'll always miss you. And I hope to see you in the next life and every life after. My brother. And that's the end of the story. The true story of two people who came together to play a game and formed a really good friendship around it. There is an update that I will read to you guys as well. It says, thank you all so much for your words, your tears, your respect, your hopes, your time, and your condolences, and your tributes. This is why we are one of the best communities in interactive entertainment. We come together when we lose one of our own that we couldn't have possibly known. The words of all of our shared experience can reverberate through strangers that all enjoy and share this medium. I think I've done what I could for now to pay respects to my friend, and all of you had made that successful in the best way possible. There won't be a day that goes by from now on that I won't think back to all of you and him and these emotions that we've shared here in this moment and all the moments afterwards, in-game and out, that we will share. He's currently still logged into live, so it's a little difficult for me to go on and play, and at the same time, I can't bring myself to tell his loved ones to turn his Xbox off. I'll be on Dark Souls 3 on Xbox for the foreseeable future. If you ever need help, here's my gamer tag. We'll throw down his sign, just like always. but that's pretty much the end of this story. And you know, this isn't the first time I've seen a story like this. I've seen it referenced to other games in the past, but really what's truly amazing about this is you spend all this time apart physically, but because you still have the game and you still play together, you may not be always physically there for your friend, but playing the game, talking every day, stuff like that, you can form a really great friendship. And that's really what this shows, is how strong any game can have an impact on people. To where these two guys, they were obviously friends before Dark Souls, but the one friend shared his favorite game of all time basically with his other friend. His other friend loved it, got into it just as much as he did, and they played it until he couldn't play it anymore. So, and the support that, looking through this thread, the support for these words were really good, and I wanted to help spread this as well in my own contributing right, and hopefully I've done that, and hopefully I've done well in my own right to help support this story, because it is definitely an emotional story, but it's a good story. It needs to be shared, because you know, you never know, this could be your story or my story someday, because things happen. The thing about games is, in games we have some sort of control, whereas in real life we don't have that control, you know. And I think that's why some of us, maybe not all of us, play games, because we like to have that control that we have in the game that we don't have in real life. We have that assuredness that we can come on and play this game and we'll be able to do this and that, but real life isn't like that. Real life is unpredictable. But anyway, I want to give my condolences to Tartarus Rex, and I hope you find this video, I hope it's done right to your story. Because it is a story that deserves right done by it. And I am sorry that any gamer has to lose people. I'm sorry that anybody has to lose people, period. But the thing about gamers is we get to live more than one life. So hopefully your friend is living more than one life. And if he isn't, if he's lost, then in the words of Commander Shepard, we'll go on for the lost. I don't know, maybe I'm just being stupid here, but I felt a need to do something for this in my own right, to talk about this, and yeah. So anyway, please share this video or this story, which I will have the link to the Reddit post in the video description. Please share one of those two. Preferably the Reddit post, maybe over this video. Just keep the story alive. Keep the memory spread, I guess. This has been Devin with Gaming in Progress, and I'll see you guys next time.